In today's video, I'm gonna break down the 4 things that everyone that is successful reaching their fat loss goals, like I was when I went from looking like this to where I am currently looking like this. The things that we do that most people don't do, which causes them to not reach their goal. We're starting right now. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and over the last decade, I have been a coach, I have been an athlete, and I have been focused on figuring out the ways to reach my fat loss goals. And over that time, I have learned a lot of fallacies, I have learned a lot of information, and I really want to share with you guys some of the things that I see why most people don't reach their goals. You see, there was a time when I was very interested in putting on some muscle, losing some body fat, and I was kind of stuck in a rut. And I really couldn't understand why, although I was eating healthy, I wasn't looking the way I wanted to look. It wasn't until I took these 4 steps that I realized there is more to it than simply just eating a little better or getting some better sleep or having some tough workouts. You see, fat loss is something that requires a long-term approach to getting it off. Now, if you're trying to lose belly fat, which is probably going to be the title of this video because it seems to be that's what everyone's aiming for. Why is that? Well, when you're losing body fat, the last part of the body that comes off is usually going to be around the midsection, the core, the love handles, the lower back, the lower abdomen, maybe the upper abdomen. That area tends to hold on fat the longest. Now, when we think of fat loss, it helps to understand that fat loss doesn't really work the way we want it to work. It doesn't lose from the place that we're focused on. No, instead, if you think of it like a paper towel roll, and you're simply unrolling the paper towel rolls at the outside of the roll until you get to that center. Now, when you get to that center, that's when we're going to start seeing visible abs, a lack of love handles. You can buy some smaller size pants and shorts. And so I want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I went through to reach this goal. The first thing was, back in November, I stopped drinking alcohol. Why? Did I drink too much? No. In fact, I consider myself a very happy social drinker. I'll have 3 drinks on special occasions or on the weekends with my friends. So why did I stop drinking alcohol? Alcohol has a profound impact on the body. It is considered a toxin by the body. And for that reason, it can make it difficult to lose body fat. You're compromising your recovery, you're compromising your hormones, perhaps your digestion. Also, when you have a couple drinks, your decision making gets bad. Sometimes I would say, well, I'm just gonna have a couple drinks. But then you're out, you're having fun. 2 becomes 4. Then before you know it, you're eating some food that you didn't plan on eating, and you've set yourself back a week. Now, this isn't a big problem if you don't have really big fat loss goals, right? If you're not trying to get like I am in this video or this picture right here, like really shredded, it's fine if you just wanna maintain a nice level physique. However, if your goals are a little bit more substantial, and you clicked on this video so I know they are, then it can really set you back a week or 2, which doesn't sound like a lot, but over the course of a year, how many weeks are you setting yourself back by having alcohol? And I decided it was just easier for me to say no alcohol. Now, the plan for me was to say no alcohol for 1 year. It's been about 7 months, and I gotta tell you, I've noticed such an improvement in my recovery, such an improvement in my sleep. Guys, I'm a 47-year-old lifetime natural bodybuilder, and I'm able to look like this, and it makes me really happy that I was able to just cut out alcohol seamlessly. Now, you have to have a plan, right? Because if you're gonna be in social situations where they're drinking alcohol, you need to have a plan. My plan is always to either enjoy a calorie-free or alcohol-free beer, or I'll have something like a diet soda in a rocks glass so that no one's really bothering me. But ultimately what I found is if I tell people my goals, like, hey, I'm not gonna have a drink of alcohol for a year, that ends the conversation. No one is then peer pressuring me. That also helps that I'm 47 years old, married with kids, and I'm not really putting myself in social situations where drinking is gonna be encouraged heavily, right? Me and my friends might have a glass of wine or a beer. So your situation might be a little more challenging, but I can tell you, cutting out alcohol is something that everyone that does get shredded, they do. The next thing I wanna focus on is the idea that going to the gym is somehow gonna magically help you lose body fat. And this is probably where I got in the worst shape of my life. And I don't mean the worst shape of my life as far as muscle and strength. I've always loved lifting weights. I started lifting weights when I was 16, 17 years old, guys. So that's 30 years. That's crazy to think about. But the idea that I had in my head was in my 20s and 30s was that I was able to go to the gym for an hour a day. And I mean, hit it hard. I was squatting, deadlifting, benching. I was doing really hard, challenging lifts with a lot of weight, at least for me. And my mindset was like that hour of day was gonna solve all the problems that the rest of the day was causing. And I didn't realize it, but over time, I thought I was getting bigger and better and stronger. One day I looked in the mirror and I weighed 250 pounds and I thought, that's not the physique I want. Guys, right now I'm about 210 pounds. This is a physique that I can be very proud of. Also, very happy with how much muscle and my strength. So how did it get to that point where I was almost 250 pounds and unhappy? Well, it was the idea that you don't burn that many calories when you exercise. A lot of people are gonna tell you that you can go to the gym and put on muscle and magically you're gonna stay lean. Going to the gym and lifting weights does burn more calories than if you just sat on the couch. However, research actually shows that you burn probably more calories if you're actually just doing some steady state cardio. Why is this? Well, we're only really exerting ourselves for a few seconds at a time, and then we're resting between sets. Now, obviously, putting on some muscle has a profound impact on the shape and the look that you have, but at least for me, I definitely vastly overestimated my caloric needs for working out, okay? I wasn't particularly paying attention to my nutrition, but I was bulking. This was an excuse. Most guys have done this excuse. I am bulking, therefore I am gonna lift heavy weights, I'm gonna put on a bunch of muscle, but I'm also gonna put on a bunch of body fat, and all I focused on was seeing the scale go up and my shirt size get bigger. But guys, if you're really adding muscle, your performance in the gym is gonna improve, but your waistline is not going to increase, okay? So if your waistline is increasing, I got bad news for you. You're adding body fat. And if you're adding a substantial amount of body fat, when it comes time to lose that body fat, you're gonna really put all that muscle that you've earned at risk, especially if you try to lose it quickly, because most fat loss people don't have the patience to do it properly. So this is why I think most people fail when it comes to losing belly fat, because they don't understand what actually helps you lose fat. So let's discuss that. So what helped me turn the corner from 250 pound bulking guy to guy who understands how to get and stay shredded with very little effort? What was it? What was the turning point? For me, it was reaching out to someone who I felt was an expert in this area, who I had seen their results with their clients, and I hired a coach. And when I hired that coach, he gave me a plan to execute. Now, I probably thought this was gonna be a little easier than it was, but when I got my plan to execute, something very apparent happened to me. I realized that I was lying to myself and saying that I was eating healthy, that I was eating clean, when in reality, I was probably eating clean and healthy 50%, 60, 70% of the time, but I was also really enjoying a lot of foods that weren't going to help me reach my goals. And in fact, they were so calorically dense that, like I said, a couple days a week, I was going over my calories and adding that body fat to that bulking. And in the guise of saying, well, I'm getting stronger in the gym, it's gotta be muscle. But guys, girls, when you need to add pant size, you're not adding muscle, you're adding body fat, okay? There's no waist muscle. So this is something that I had to start paying attention to. And what was the reason? I wasn't being accountable to my nutrition, okay? You're gonna hear a lot of people say like, you don't have to count calories to lose weight. And that's true, you don't have to. But I promise you, it's like saying you don't have to look at your bank account to save money. Being accountable is the best thing that you will ever do for your nutrition. Because once you have that understanding of what it looks like to be accountable, you no longer have to track. Does that make sense to you guys? The ability to understand what you're taking in is a skill, okay? Looking at a plate of food, looking at the things that you're eating, looking at nutrition labels, looking at restaurant nutrition facts, those things really change your understanding of what's in food. And forever, you understand what you're taking in and what you're putting in your mouth. And so for this reason, there are a few apps that will allow us to track our nutrition. Now, before you get too worried, this is only temporary. This is something that I do throughout different phases of my goals. If I'm trying to add muscle, lose body fat, I will, for short periods of time, track my nutrition. Currently, I'm using an app called Nutritoinix or Nutritoinix. In the past, I have used My Macros Plus, Fat Secret, as well as many others. You can find an app that really works for you, use it as a food diary, but here's the key. Everything you eat or drink needs to go in. And if you have no idea where to start, well, I've given you guys a free tool. I have a free calculator on my website that's going to give you, based on your age, your body fat level, your activity levels, it's gonna tell you exactly kind of where your calories should be based on your goals of either putting on muscle, losing body fat, losing fat rapidly. And it's actually gonna help you break down and give you a setup for your macros for meal planning. But the idea there is to give you a baseline. Now, I could tell you exactly what your macros should be right now for you to reach your goals. However, It's gonna be upon you to go to the store, buy your foods, prep your meals, eat the meals, and stick to your numbers every day. A plan is only as good as it's going to be executed. So the idea behind this is to start getting data. When I did this, I was immediately amazed at how much extra calories I was eating than I thought. I told myself, yeah, I'm probably eating 2,000 to 2,500 calories, and I would regularly track my diet and be over 4,000 calories. The moment that I started, and this will happen to you, being more diligent with my nutrition, I stopped snacking, I took out the alcohol. Yes, alcohol has calories. Voila, I started noticing things. My performance was better. My body fat was going down, and I started seeing the changes in the pictures and the measurements that I had always dreamed of simply through this tactic of accountability. So what is the fourth reason that most people never get to see their belly fat? And this might be the most important one of all. Your goal does not matter to you. For a lot of people, the idea that I want to see my abs, or I want to see a six-pack, or I want to look really good at the beach sounds good when they say it out loud, but it's just ear service to other people. Yeah, I'm dieting down for this event. I'm dieting down for my wedding. I'm dieting down for something. But if that something is less important to you than your social life, okay, well, guess what's going to win out every time? That's right. Are you going to be willing to say no when someone invites you out for pizza and beer? Are you going to be willing to say no when someone that you're interested in invites you out on a date and you have to say yes or no? I'm telling you now, the goal has to be paramount. If it is not the number one priority, all of the things that I just mentioned are going to fall like dominoes. The goal for many people, like myself, has been physique competitions. I promise you, there's nothing more motivating than knowing you're getting on a bodybuilding stage competing against other people. I realize that is a very small percentage of the population that want to do that, but those are going to be your most successful fat loss participants because they're going to stick things out, they're going to budget their time better, and they're going to focus more on their health. But what's another great goal? Events. Obviously, weddings are a big one, perhaps a vacation, perhaps a reunion, but some type of event that is going to allow you to be excited and wake up every day and go, I am excited to do my cardio. I'm excited to meal prep. I'm excited about the prospect of working towards my goals. A photo shoot, something that just makes you put that goal as the primary focus. We just started our 90-day transformation challenge, and that's why I do these twice a year. Our next one will start in early 2024. We do 2 a year, and this is why. We provide the excitement, we provide the reason, we provide a cash prize of $25,000, but we also provide a community of people. Why is that so important? Why do I do this? Well, I do this because I understand that a deadline makes a goal real. Just saying you want to get leaner, just saying you want to lose body fat, it's not going to seem very real until it has a deadline. When you wake up every day and that time frame gets shorter, you know that any mistakes is going to set you back. And like I said earlier, if you're on your plan and you set yourself back a week, well, you've actually set yourself back 2 weeks because now you've got to get back to where you were just to start moving forward again. And when you have a short timeline like that, it's really going to allow you to make the progress you need to make. So this is the reason why most people never lose their belly fat. They take 2 steps forward and they take 3 steps back. And it goes like this. And they end up just maintaining. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if your goal is to lose belly fat, see your abs, lose your love handles, have the physique that you want, do something about it. All right, guys. And if you're looking for help, well, that just so happens to be what we do here at Pro Physique. I'm going to put a link below if you'd like to set up a free consultation for coaching. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to provide free resources for you guys to reach your goals just by watching my videos. All right, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.